What's up, world? Here we go. Today's word, the creation. You are a creator. There are so many people I talk to that don't create. Why don't they create? Because right here they tell themselves all the time, I can't do that. I'm not an artist. I'm not a creator. I'm not creative. Listen. The most valuable art in the world, Monet, Picasso, sucks. That artwork sucks. There's a friend of mine, I only check in with them a couple times a year, but every time I check in with them, he says, what are you up to? What are you creating? He always says, what are you creating? What's your art? What's your skill? What are you working on? I think he's an amazing artist. He's a graffiti artist, tattoo artist. He's a graphic artist. He can draw. And, old school skateboarder. And when he said that to me, because I looked up to him as kind of a mentor, as somebody that had something that I wanted to be part of. But a couple years into our about a year into the relationship, he had said that to me. This is 20 years ago now. And when he said that, it always stuck with me. What are you creating? Take like any artist, when I was a youngster, I used to collect comic books. I was not into reading at all. But I was into the artwork. I was into the design, the character work, the style, the colors, the action. I don't think I read but 5 of my comic books, probably. The storyline was kind of weak. But in my mind, I could create a different storyline, different action. And so I collected a lot of comics. Hundreds. I used to like to draw. I was never very good at it. And I was never good at it because I never took it serious. It was just something I liked to do. I know people who, when they talk on the phone, back in the old days when the phone was attached to the wall, they'd sit at the kitchen table and they like to doodle. I know a lot of inmates like to doodle. Call it just drawing real tiny pictures, a whole bunch of them all over the place. It's creation, it's imagination, it's stretching your mind, it's connecting your mind with your hand and paper, it's making something go from here into the real world. But I was never a doodler. I was never a really good drawer because it wasn't me. It wasn't something I was interested in. It's not like I couldn't wait to get home and draw. People who draw in comic books and things like that, that's their passion. They're on the bus. They're drawing. They're riding in a car. They're drawing. They're out for a walk thinking about how to draw, how to make shades, how to make things look, how to make things happen. I think one of the first art forms that I had as a young man many years ago was bodybuilding. I wasn't no Mr. Olympia or anything like that, for sure. But what I had was the ability to go, wow, I can manipulate my body. Just by consuming healthy foods, drinking healthy water, taking healthy supplements and moving weight around and getting my heart rate up. Burning fat, burning calories, adding calories. I learned there were so many different things I could do to manipulate my body. And that was my first art form. That was my first creation. Changing my body. I knew the physique I wanted up here, and now I had to put it out here. And I was very successful with doing that 30 years ago. I still like to dibble dabble with it. I still like to, hey, you know, I think I would like my shoulders a little bit wider, a little bit broader. So for the next couple months, I'm going to work on shoulders. Oh, I think I'd like some abs. So for the next couple months, I'm going to really focus on crunches. I'm going to really focus on cardiovascular exercise to burn calories. I'm going to watch what I eat. That's an art form. Martial arts. Why do they call it martial arts? Because it's an art form. You're teaching your body to move in a certain way for a certain outcome. You don't just do it. You have to practice it and get good at it. Everybody is a creator. Most people aren't creating. When you're not creating, your brain is dying. Your brain wants to create. Your brain has all this stuff going through it all the time, but nothing is outputting except through your mouth. Your brain wants to create. If you're writing a poem, writing a song, people say, oh, I can't write a poem. I'm terrible at that. Stop telling yourself that. You're not terrible at it. I'm not into poetry, but think of a good poet. Edgar Allan Poe. He's probably the only one I remember. I've never read his stuff. But I remember it because of Edgar Allan Poe, and poem. He's probably got like 30 really good poems. And he's probably written thousands of them. Now stop looking at rap artists. Because somebody else is writing their lyrics. Somebody else is playing their music. There are some that are really solid. There are some musicians that write their own stuff, they play their own music, and they sing it. Very few. A lot of artists, somebody else has written those words. Somebody else wrote it. Even Cher, I can't remember if I could turn back time. Yeah, that was it. Cher, she was a huge singer. I think 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. One song she did not want to do, If I Could Turn Back Time. It was the first time they were really using this instrument called reverb, where it magnifies your voice, tweaks it a little bit. She was all against it. It made her tens of millions of dollars. After that money poured in, she didn't regret it. Many artists don't write their own music. Somebody else is doing it, and they don't get credit for it. We are all creators. Whether you're a painter, a gardener, look at Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid. Yeah, sure, he knew karate, but what was his art form? The bonsai tree. He slowly clipped away at small trees. It wasn't to share with the world, it was for him. Growing plants, creating different things. The problem is why you are not a creator is because you keep telling yourself you're not a creator. You're already doubting yourself because you don't want everybody else to doubt you for you. You don't want to do anything that other people will look at and go, oh man, better work on that. That's terrible. We talk ourselves down, and that's terrible. Woodworking, metalworking, There's so many different creations to be had. So many people binge watch television, which is telling a lie to your vision. Television, shows, movies, over and over and over. These people, this is not their real life. They are actors. They are acting a script that somebody else wrote. And they're good at playing out that part. That's why they got the job and they're getting paid. You think that they would be doing that if they weren't getting paid? If that wasn't their art form? Yet we will sit here and pay crazy amounts of money and waste crazy amounts of time watching other people get paid for their art form. It doesn't make any sense. And you'll watch it over and over and over and over and over again. When I was in the Marines, there was a kid, The Lion King had just come out as a Disney flick. DVDs didn't exist. We were still in VHS world. And this kid watched this movie so many times, he drove his roommate crazy. And so the roommate had to go to his first sergeant and say, hey, listen, something's wrong with this guy. 24 hours a day. If he's not in boots, this is what he's doing. And they investigated it. This kid had like 6 copies of the movie because he had already worn some out. And they put him out on a mental discharge. It's not okay, I don't believe. I don't watch the same show over and over again. There's a few shows that I've watched maybe 3 or 4 times over the last 50 some years. But there's no show, no movie that I've continuously watched over and over again. You know the outcome. There's a movie that the only one that I watch over, that I've watched several times. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna tell you what they are. This goes against God. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first one, and that's for nostalgia reasons. Because when I was like 10 years old, one of my aunts took me and let me rent anything I wanted to, and she lived out on a farm in the middle of nowhere. And she left me to watch that by myself, and I had never been so scared. And I finished it, and then I didn't sleep for like a week, eyes wide open. And the other movie that I enjoyed watching was Full Metal Jacket. Because of the Marine Corps, I really enjoyed the first half of the movie, the boot camp scene, because I did it, and it reminded me of when I was there, and I enjoyed that. I was no longer there. But I'm telling you, people will sit there and binge watch Friends over and over and over and over again. What are you doing? This is not real. It's not even attainable. You can't live in a $10,000 a month apartment with one roommate and work at a coffee shop. It's not even plausible. But they make that the dream. It's not a dream. Man, that fan was on the whole time. Air conditioner, sorry. That's not a dream. It's not real. It's impossible. And so people are like, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. Stop it. Yes, you can. Stop watching other people live their lives Stop watching other people live a false life, an actor acting. Stop watching that and live your own life. Start to create. Be strong. Make a habit out of walking into the house after work and not turning on the television. Make a habit of getting up in the morning and not checking your cell phone intentionally. Be like, yeah, I'm better than that. I ain't got to touch that thing. Some people are so addicted to, has anybody texted me? Has anybody liked my likes? Has anybody commented on my last comment? Stop that. Nobody should care. I post all the time. I don't check. I don't care. It's not for me. It's for whoever sees it. May it bring them some information, some knowledge, some context, some unity. We're not alone in this world, but the world divides us. Society, governments, employers, they divide us. Movies, they divide us. It's all a game. It's a game. And if you're divided and if you're lonely, you're not playing the game right. You're caught in the matrix. So just, if anybody sees this, just think about that, you know? Be a creator. Start to put what's in you out. And if you enjoy it, you'll get better at it. And other people will enjoy it. I've done many art forms. Most people don't even care. They look at it, oh, whatever. And then once in a while, somebody will be like, wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. There was a point in time that I used to sell my wood burnings, and I made a lot of money one year. But then it became work. It became employment. It became a job. It became a task. It was no longer creativity. Now it was a task. And so I lost the love for it. But I found a new love. I started doing other art forms. I started doing other things. I started to learn to weld. I started to learn to make metal art. Started to make some jewelry. A little bit of everything. I just like to dibble dabble. I like to have fun, be creative. I like to think. I like to intentionally not be included in the outside world. I like to intentionally say, nah, it's not for me. You can watch that show. You can go to the movies. Fake. I don't like to watch nonsense. Once in a while, it's okay. But if that's your day-to-day, you're falling behind in the game. Anyway, be creative. Do something. Go buy some clothes at thrift. Cut the sleeves off. Put some leggings where the sleeves should be and wear it. You know? Do something. Be creative. Start to enjoy something. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can go collect rocks. Go kick rocks. Do something. Do something. Peace.